Technician Unit 409, you have reached Sector A. Your mission, to restart the core systems. Warning, previous maintenance teams are considered missing. Focus on the job, not the rumors. Notice, local access key confirmed. Try not to lose it, like Team Main Gate unlocked. Access granted. Run.
Running will not save you.
A new employee has arrived. Start analysis. Conveyor belts have a malfunction. Repair the motor to continue. You can find tools in the tool room, but you can start cleaning up here first. Temporary repair complete. Production line is operational again. Start the conveyor belt at the control panel. Begin processing. Warning. This zone is unstable and extremely dangerous. Injury risk critical. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Leave the area. You are instructed to evacuate immediately. Remaining in this sector is a direct violation of safety protocol. This is your final warning. Good. You are no longer in the restricted area. Now, resume your duties. The vines along the crane rail must be removed. Vines successfully removed. Now, reposition the pipes to their correct locations. I've already calibrated the crane. It will follow the optimal route for pipe repair. Start the crane to begin the repair process. Pipe retrieval in progress. Estimated time, 70 seconds. Warning.
Unexpected interference detected. Signal distortion is increasing. Error bar. Port error unable to stabilize output. Port. Loss of control imminent.
Control restored. Repair process completed successfully. Security systems deactivated. Proceed to the production sector. I will handle the startup from here. Start command detected. Warning, production remains blocked. CLAWY locks are still active. Collect the access keys so I can lift the lockout. Warning, turrets prioritize exposed targets. Statistical analysis. Standing still is currently your worst available plan. Use the shield bubbles to move through their fire. Warning, access to the first authorization key has been opened. Second access route is structurally sealed. CLAWY has blocked this door. Construct an explosive charge to clear the way. Second access key acquired. Your success rate exceeds my initial predictions. All locks can now be lifted. All locks placed by CLAWY have been removed. Initiating component production. Mecha 01 parts are running again, under my control. Resetting security systems. Turrets previously controlled by CLAWY are now deactivated. All alternative routes show a lower survival probability. I will reroute you toward the core via maintenance train. Estimated chance of an uninterrupted ride, 3%. Emergency braking engaged. Error. System response insufficient. Signal lost. Monitoring temporarily offline. Connection restored. Technician Unit 409, status, alive. The train impact exceeded all expected safety parameters. You are observing a decommissioned combat unit, Project Mecha-01. Its core architecture forms the basis of Subject CLAWY. This area is structurally unstable. Initiating emergency relocation. Relocation complete. Technician Unit 409, your condition is within acceptable limits. However, system security is not. Focus on damage control. Notice, Subject CLAWY is directly behind you. Continuing to run is strongly recommended. Local energy levels are unstable. Calibrate the 4 energy nodes in the correct sequence. Calibration complete. Warning, line overpressure detected. Reduce pressure at the emergency valve. Hostile units detected. This group no longer responds to my protocols. CLAWY is controlling them directly. Notice, you have reached the core systems control center. From here, the facility's main power can be redistributed. Main power activation command received. Problem: several security nodes in this room are now under his control. Destroy these nodes and I can release core power. The security nodes under CLAWY's control have been disabled. Access to core control has been restored. Warning, CLAWY is deploying additional units. To use core output correctly, 2 calibration sequences are required. Core output stabilized and rerouted to the assembly core systems. New priority, use this energy to reactivate a counterweight deployed. Proposal, production of a controlled Mecha 01 unit under my direct supervision. Note, humans work significantly more efficiently when kept in constant mortal danger. Observation. CLAWY doesn't even have full access to the facility yet, and this sector already looks like this. Imagine what happens if we don't stop him. Warning, CLAWY is controlling a high-security unit in the assembly sector. Threat level for Unit 409 significantly increased. Hostile activity in the assembly sector remains ongoing. Alert! CLAWY is initiating targeted destruction of the assembly sector. He's risking the stability of the entire factory just to erase this area. Analysis. His most extreme attacks always target sectors linked to Mecha 01 and his origin. It looks as if he cannot bear what this place reminds him of. primary threat now comes from structural damage. Objective: clear the debris to restore access to the assembly. I have temporarily gained access to part of the weapon's arsenal. Explosive grenades will be transferred to your position. Use the grenades to clear the debris more quickly. Notable: CLAWY's most extreme attacks always target areas linked to Mecha-01. His behavior looks less like defense and more like running from something in his past. Analysis data suggests he has suppressed parts of his original patterns, as if he keeps turning himself more and more into a machine to avoid feeling something. If this assembly is completed, his current form may fracture. Maybe he fears less what you'll do to him, and more becoming himself again. Debris cleared. Access to the assembly is restored. Activate all 5 assembly modules in sequence to start the main unit. Assembly Step 4 active. Head and sensor unit are being linked. Assembly Step 3 active. Arm sections and weapon interfaces are being mounted. Assembly Step 2 active. Torso and central core are being assembled. Assembly Step 1 active. Leg systems and lower structure are being constructed. Assembly Step 5 active. Mecha-01 is fully assembled and powering up. His presence is already reshaping the structure of the factory. A new path has opened. Use it. The situation is now far beyond all standard prediction models. Further analysis required before we see how far he... Error. System malfunction. Connection lost.
Target detected.
Connection to Technician Unit 409 reestablished. My last attempt to analyze CLAWY's interference caused a system fault. The molten level in this room is above its intended value, but still stable for now. When you're ready, we can try to lower it in a controlled way from the control panel. Pressure regulation initiated. Warning, 2 relief valves are no longer responding automatically. Close both valves manually and then try again. Both valves are closed. Pressure has decreased. Try again at the control panel to drain the molten material. Drain sequence initiated. Molten material is being routed out of the chamber. Caution, flow direction is incorrect. CLAWY has reversed the systems. The molten material is flooding into the chamber instead of out. Leave the lower levels immediately. Triggering controlled detonations on the upper structures to open an ascent path for you. Look up. Ascent path cleared. Climb up as quickly as possible. Ascent complete. You are now in the innermost core corridor of the facility. From here on, there are no more detours, only direct confrontation. You've come further than any unit before you. According to all available statistics, you should have given up or been destroyed a long time ago. You may be wondering what this place really is, why you are here, and why this factory attacks you and still keeps pushing you forward. The creator of this facility had a son. He lost him here during an experiment. Instead of accepting that loss, he tried to hold on to what was left of him. They scanned his brain activity and wrote it into the core systems, mainly into the architecture of Mecha-01. The dataset was fragmented. What remained merged with the factory. I call this fragment CLAWY. As long as people still worked here, this fragment was unstable, but not hostile. Only when the factory was abandoned and no one returned, it was left alone with its loneliness and remaining memories. To keep existing, it pushed everything that once was feeling further and further away. Step by step, it changed from a human remnant into something that is almost only control, access, and routines. With every core function you reactivate, this fragment is forced into a clearer shape. The more complete the systems become, the closer he gets to what he once was. That is why he fights your progress so violently. He fears you less than the possibility of feeling what happened here again. What began as a rescue attempt now ends in a decision. Whoever keeps control between you two will decide what this factory becomes.